Hey everybody, I got a really good comment on a video that I did that I want to follow up on because I think it's an important thing to really think about, and it's long-term investing. Now, the comment was based on a buy and hold strategy for a 401k, but I kind of want to twist the words a little bit and get you guys thinking long-term strategy, like a retirement strategy. But this is in a sense, a 401k strategy or an IRA strategy. You're buying into this account, you're holding it for years, until you're an old man or woman and you're ready to cash out when it's time to quit your job and retire. But the type of stocks you invest in is going to be the basis of it. Now, you have a few options. I'm going to be honest, I don't know much about bonds, and I'm not going to recommend buying them because they're very slow and steady growth that give you a good payout on a monthly or quarterly basis, depending on what bond you buy. I'm going to stick to stocks in this video, but typically that's what you want to think of when you think long-term or 401k strategy or IRA strategy, is you almost want to think about you're buying a bond, something that you're just going to buy and keep adding your position and growing your position over and over and over for years and years until one day you retire. Now, some good options, depending on what you're looking for, it's really based on your sector. Do you want to go oil? Do you want to go tech? Do you want to go consumer? Do you want to go, other something else? You have to think, what's a big company in that space that you like? Now, I'll give you an example with Disney because I was a big investor in Disney a while back, and now I'm gonna kind of go through what I went through when I was investing in Disney. Mistakes I made, good decisions I made, and things of that nature. But I want you to keep this in mind. This is a long-term strategy. So when Disney spikes down, like you see on this graph, you want to buy more. You don't want to freak out and panic when everyone else does. You're gonna say, okay, Disney's peaked right here, like at 17 or 116, and then it spikes down here to 98. What happens is a lot of people freak out and they're concerned that they're losing money. They're concerned that the company's going to fail. They're concerned that this company is no longer going to have growth potential and all that. But if you're the type of person, when you're investing long term, you need to actually do fundamental analysis of that company. You got to understand what is it, what is their prospects, what are they investing in, where are they marketing their company, what is their growth potential, what are their quarterly earning statements, what are their profit and loss statements, and all that. You need to kind of learn the basic ways to evaluate a stock, whether it's worth to understand more about it, but ultimately understand if it's worth investing or not. And I did a video with the Seeking Alpha app earlier. You guys should check that out. But it's a good way to follow up with articles and other analysis of stocks from other people. And that's the one thing with this channel. I don't want to say do everything I tell you to because I'm the best. You know what I mean? Like, no, that's a stupid mentality. I'm giving you guys ideas. I'm giving you guys education. I'm giving you guys, options for ideas outside of what you think or other videos you've seen, and you make a collective opinion of everything that you've learned, and then you make a well-informed decision that you think is best for you. Just because I'm showing you this stock about Disney doesn't mean I'm saying go out and buy Disney right now. You know what I mean? Like, if you know Disney, if you understand that it's making all the Marvel movies, it's making all the Star Wars movies, it's got the cruise lines, it's got the theme parks, it's got ESPN, it's got the Disney Channel, it's got all these different branches of the company that make all the profit for it, and you understand, how those individual assets are being allocated and how they're growing, you understand what you're investing in, then you're not going to worry about the day-to-day trading. You're going to think, anytime there's a sharp spike in that stock, going downward, I'm just going to keep adding to my position. Now, to give you an example, And I kind of touched on this in another video. You see a lot of good growth right here in this area that I'm highlighting. Now you see a couple dips, like one here, like little small dips, one here, and another one here. Now you'd typically want to buy into those dips. Now understand that you're buying into fear. You're buying into criticism. You're buying, into the kind of apocalyptic mindset when everyone else is rushing out of the stock, that they're afraid, that they think this company is, I mean, sorry to say, but they think this company's bullshit. They don't think it's going anywhere. That's when you need to buy the stock. It's such an easy thing for me to tell you guys, but it's such a hard concept to understand and implement into your stock strategy. Believe me, I still struggle with this. I work hard to not make mistakes, but sometimes shit happens. You make a mistake and you have to learn to capitalize and go forward with your strategy and make it better. So I'm just trying to give you guys this advice to kind of help you so you make less mistakes. You're gonna make mistakes. Get over it, okay? Fucking get over it. But you're gonna minimize your mistakes because you continue to learn, you continue to watch my videos and other videos to help yourself make better informed decisions. Now, to give you an example though of how I would buy into long-term stocks like this, I would always look for a dip opportunity. Now you see right here, this was a big one, and I think I talked about this in another video where Bob Iger, the CEO, made a prediction that the company wasn't going to do well next year with their ESPN numbers because they were seeing a lower subscription base and it's nothing to do with ESPN as a whole. It's just cable providers are losing business altogether, and people are getting most of their content from online and streaming. Which, I mean, let's be honest, that's what you're doing right now. You're watching YouTube on the internet. You're getting your information from an online source. You're not watching this on TV. So when he made that comment, this had a sharp dip down to about the 100 area, and people freaked out. I freaked out. I was holding the stock. I think if I remember right, I bought it around 100, and I had it right up thinking it was just going to keep going, and then it went down. But even though I freaked out, I made a good decision because I believed in it. I understood the movies coming out. I looked at how much they were profiting. I looked at what the theme parks were profiting. They were opening a new theme park in China, I think in Shanghai at the time or something like that. I was looking at forward thinking. I was looking at the future, and I bought more right here in this 100 area, and then it spiked up again back to its peak. Now I sold, I think, around 106 or 7. And then you see it ran up to like 115, I think, at its height, 117. So I kind of missed a little bit of the rally. But, I bought at this dip and I had a good percentage uptake. And then it spiked down and it kind of went sideways right in this area and consolidated. And it's only just now starting to go up. So, I adapted my strategy over time to get better. But I did my best to take out emotional reasoning, because when you trade with emotion, you always lose. In my opinion, you always lose because you kind of go with the herd. You have the herd mentality. When everyone else is buying in, you buy in, and then you end up paying a higher price for that stock. When everyone else is selling, you end up selling your stock at a lower price. You don't profit as much. You need to think of an opposite mindset of everybody. If everyone's buying into that stock, you probably want to stay away from it because you want to wait for it to come down. Otherwise, you're just going to be paying more. You're going to be paying for something that's overpriced. I made a example of this before. With like certain products that are like in season. For instance, like beach wear. Like swimsuits. If you buy swimsuits in the summer, they're going to be expensive because it's summertime. Everyone's buying swimsuits. So obviously they're going to be more expensive because everyone's going to the beach. Everyone's wearing their new suits. You're going to be paying more. You want to buy swimsuits in the winter because nobody's buying swimsuits in the winter. So the prices are marked down. They're reduced because they just have a bunch of swimsuits sitting on the rack and no one's buying them. And if you go with the herd mentality, you're going to stay away from buying swimsuits in the winter, and you're not going to be able to profit because you're going to buy with everyone else when they buy it in the summer when it's more expensive. So you need to plan ahead. You need to plan the long game. That's how you set up your 401k or IRA or buy and hold strategy. You need to think long term. You need to cut out that mentality where everyone's buying it, I gotta buy it, or everyone's selling it, I gotta sell it. You gotta sometimes think opposite of what people are doing. Now, I'm not, man, I'm not like gonna say buy this stock, buy that stock, buy these stocks, buy those stocks, because what I say today, those stocks could flip tomorrow and then you would lose money on it. What I'm trying to say in this video is you have to invest the time in the stock. I noticed recently in some of my comments I get a lot of questions about Ford. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ford's a good company. And the main reason why I like Ford is because when the auto bailout was happening, Ford did not take a bailout. They continued they continued their business without having to accept a bailout. They were one of like the only automakers that did that. You don't understand how huge that was. When the entire economy was failing, when the entire economy collapsed, when everyone lost their goddamn mind, Ford still had their shit together. Ford was still making money. Ford was still pumping out vehicles. Ford has the highest selling vehicle that there is, the F-150. And I know it sounds dumb because that it's a truck, but like most, you go to a construction site, you see F-150s everywhere. You know, you drive down the road, you see F-150s. It's the most popular car that is being sold right now, and Ford has that. And they're also in hybrid cars. They have the Ford Fusion, which in my opinion looks way better than the Prius, Toyota's Prius, or the Chevy Volt. You know, but that's just my perspective. But ultimately, that doesn't matter. What you got to be looking at is the history of a stock, because when you're going long, you got to know where the stock's been. And you want to like go on Google, because Robinhood only shows you up to 5 years. You want to go on Google and probably, I think they could do up to 10 years or longer. You want the entire picture of the company when you're going long to see the trend. Because if you watch a day-to-day trend, a week-to-week trend, a month-to-month trend, you're not investing for buy and hold. You're not investing for a 401k. You're not investing for an IRA. You're doing swing trading like I do, which is fine if that's what you're trying to do. But if you're going long term, you need to look at the entire picture. You need to justify in your head when shit hits the fan with this company, they have a bad earnings report, a product doesn't sell well, or there's recalls or whatever, you need to justify in your head, this is just a moment in time. This is just a snapshot of the company at a certain point. This doesn't justify its entire earnings over several years, you know? And when people do freak out, and when you have dips like in this area here when it was at $12, when this area here was at 11, when this area over here when it was at 8, these dips, you need to buy those dips, because eventually the stock will rebound, because Ford's not going anywhere. Come on, let's be real. Ford's not going anywhere. Toyota's not going anywhere. Chevy's not going anywhere. Car companies come out with a new model every year for each model that they have. Car companies aren't going anywhere. And when they see the consumer adapting to a more hybrid, energy efficient model, they'll pump up their numbers for those hybrid cars that they make, and they'll start coming out with new ones and better ones, and then it'll keep growing. I can tell you, as someone who lives in California, I see hybrid cars everywhere. But that's just the state I live in. But I know it's going to continue to grow, because the trend is going to continue, or the trend is growing, and it's continue to grow. Now, if I were to list off some stocks, I don't want to say recommend you buy, but think of, if you're interested, like I could say like Facebook, I could say Google, I could say Ford, I could say Netflix, you know, Clorox, Home Depot, Lowe's, Nike, Under Armour, Panera Bread, Chipotle, even though everyone's freaking about their little not the scandal, but when they had the food poisoning or whatever, like, you got to look at opportunities to buy in. If you think Chipotle is going to be around for a while, you should be happy that it got taken down. You should see that as a blessing, that that stock got taken down by this because you're gonna buy it low, and then when everybody eventually does the same thing they always do with every stock or every company, they forget that stock's gonna go back up and you're gonna make money on it. But whatever your reason, and if you go out and buy Chipotle now and it goes down, like, don't like point the finger at everyone else or me or whatever. Like, you have to justify to yourself why you're buying and holding that stock for the long term. You guys have to understand that. That's the basis of the strategy. You can justify any stock in your mind, and there's thousands of stocks on the market that could easily, anyone can make an argument to buy and hold it. But you, the investor, you have to tell yourself, you have to be responsible. You have to take action and learn and research and understand the company that you are investing in. Don't just listen to some guy telling you to buy some stock. I've done that. It fails. I bought into so many companies because I saw some guy on TV tell me this is a hot stock right now, buy it. And I do what he says and the stock goes down and I'm beating myself up like, why the fuck did I buy that stock? Why did I listen to this guy? I don't know anything about the company. I don't understand what it does. You have to understand what you're buying. You are an investor. Okay? You're buying into the company. You're being a partner. You're a shareholder. You need to know where your money's going. You have to learn about it. And yeah, I'm not going to lie. Doing fundamental analysis for buy and hold stocks, it takes time. But use that time as an opportunity to understand the stock better before you buy into it. And at the same time, waiting for a good buying opportunity or a good entry point. You guys need to understand that. It's not just about what's the hot stock right now. It's not just about who had a good earnings report last month. It's not just about what are people talking about. It's not just about the hot new thing that's coming out. All these reasons that other people will tell you to buy a stock, you'll get that same feeling that I got, that everyone else gets, like, I'm going to buy it because everyone's talking about it, and you end up losing. Because you buy into the herd mentality. You just do it because everyone else is doing it. That is not how you invest. Okay? This is me just talking from experience. I don't pretend to be this amazing investor. I don't pretend to be a millionaire trader. I don't pretend to be some certified financial fiduciary long-term planner. I'm just a regular guy who's made his mistakes, and he's learned from his mistakes, and he's been able to profit. I brought myself out of debt. I'm like making more money now. I'm doing better. I'm making separate investments. I'm investing for like my nephew, like so he can have an education. I have all these things that I want to do, and I think long term all the time. And people ask me like good stocks to buy long term. And if I were to be straight up, there is no good stock to buy long term. It's what you think is a good stock to buy long term. What stock you think is going to make money, and what stock you think is going to eventually be paying your bills one day when you retire. Because that's the long term mentality. You buy and hold. And when there's a dip or fear in the market, you buy again. And when the stock's being taken down because of bad press, you buy again. You keep buying low, and you either sell high and move to another stock, or you just keep buying low to add to your position. So I know this isn't the typical video people want to hear about buy and hold strategy, because they want to know what stock specifically do I want to buy. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to tell you a specific stock to buy, because you're not justifying in your head what you're spending your money on. You're just listening to some guy. And if you do that with your strategy, I'm sorry, but you're going to fail. If you don't justify in your head why this stock is good to buy, you need to basically explain to somebody else why you bought that stock. And you need to fucking break it down to them every little bit why you bought that stock. If you could do that, then that's a good investment. All right? You can't You walk to any investor and they'll tell you otherwise because the stock is bad or whatever, and you tell them, no, I know the stock is good because of this, this, and this. They had great numbers. They did this, this, and this. You need to be able to argue the point. You need to be able to tell them why it's a solid investment. That's what makes it a good stock, is when you understand the company. So just keep that in mind. I know, like I said, I know I've been there, man. I've been there. Like, I know what you guys are going through right now. You just want that idea, that spark, that inclination. You want to know, where am I supposed to put my money? But it just doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You guys have to put in the time. And I want to make as many videos as I can to give you guys as much information as possible so you guys can make the best well-informed decision. But I can't just say, hey, buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that, because like, it's not a good strategy to do that. It just doesn't work out. I'm sorry, okay? It just doesn't work out like that. I've done it. I failed, okay? Like, straight up. I lost a lot of money. I want to say a lot of money, but I've lost money. You know what I mean? It just doesn't work like that. But when I started learning and I started researching and I started understanding what I was investing in, and I justified to myself why I invested in it, and I bought it on dips, and I bought it when everyone else was afraid and all that. That's when I started making money. Okay? That's what you guys got to do. And I'll try to make more videos on buy and hold strategies. I know this accounts more for swing trading, but I'll try to make those videos because I think they are important. Because I do my own personal IRA and 401k investing, and I've done okay for myself. I'm not going to brag and say I'm amazing. I've done okay for myself because I buy on dips. I find a good stock that I like. I do the research on it, and whenever it dips down, I buy more, and I just look at my gain percentage go up every year. So I know this was a little long-winded. It was a really great question, and I appreciate it because I think this is a really important video. But you guys just need to keep in your mind, you are the one spending your money. So you got to justify why you think whatever stock you're interested in is good. And if you could honestly explain to somebody else why you think it's a good investment and list several reasons why, then I will endorse your decision because you put in the time to understand why that's a good investment. So just try to keep that in mind when you do the investing, because it's your money. No one else is giving you money. No one else is telling you what to do. No one else is going to give you the prize. You're earning it. You're working for it. You're the one who's got to put your money on the line. You got to deal with the criticism. So just keep that in mind. This isn't a game about ego. Investing, if you got a fat ego, you're gonna lose right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. You got to be able to take that loss. You got to be able to understand. The market is just, it's sporadic. You can't predict it. You just got to roll with it. You got to adapt. So hopefully, so long. I didn't realize how long this would be. Hopefully you guys get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say, though. And if you have questions, like, leave me in the comments. I try to do a good job of answering as much as I can for you guys. I don't want you guys to feel left out because I've been there. I've taught myself so much, and I didn't have somebody to help me. I didn't have like a mentor or anything like that. I tried to learn. And deep down, even now, like, I still wish someone would just tell me what to do. You know what I mean? But the longer you do this and the more you learn, it's better that you keep just educating yourself. Self-education is going to be your best asset. I'm going to tell you right now. It doesn't matter if you got $1 or $1 million. If you keep educating yourself, you're going to do great. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you keep educating yourself, you're going to do just fine, okay? So this video was helpful. Just, click like and subscribe on my channel. Let me know in the comments. You guys have been giving me a lot of good questions lately, and it's been helping me make more and more videos for you guys. So just keep it coming, man. I'm going to do the best I can for you guys. I want everybody to understand what I understand and be able to grow and learn and do better. So just hit me up. I'm going to do the best I can. And I honestly hope this helps, because a buy and hold strategy to a lot of people is a more popular option because to be honest, it's the most like generic option. That's what people think of first. There's nothing wrong with saying that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. You just have to believe what you're investing in. Okay? You just have to believe what you're putting your money into. So just keep that in mind. All right, guys? So have yourselves a good night and good luck.